All right, guys, good morning from St. Simon's Island. We are kind of in the lull of the storm. I don't know what the backside is going to bring as we start to get winds out of the west. We're kind of in the center of this thing. It's dissipating though. We're on the backside of it. Of course, we got a lot of rain, and we're dealing with some scattered power outages on the island. I think last time I checked, there were just over 1,000 homes on St. Simon's without electricity this morning. The crews are out. I've got the Crimson Captain.
Good morning.
Connor is back with us for the ride, and we're going to just take a little spin here. The place is a mess from debris that's down. I know that some more trees went over during the night, and they're in the process of being cleaned up. And as usually the way these things progress is people start to get out, start looking around, and start looking up. They start to find more issues and problems. You know, last night we lost power it was intermittent. We probably lost power at about 3 or 4 different times during the evening. The last one, the top of the pole became grounded out somehow with moss or some other tree debris. And anyhow, the top of the pole caught fire and it burned in two. And so now the top of going onto the street, the top of the pole is hanging down. It's kicked off all the power into the neighborhood. They're in the process of trying to repair that, and I think we're scheduled to have electricity sometime before 10 p.m. this evening.
Now, guys, if you were with us yesterday, I mentioned that these islands, we have wood power poles. Most of our power lines are above ground. So when we do have a storm, not only of this magnitude, but just anything, even an afternoon thunderstorm with high winds, with our oak trees, they can hit those power lines and we lose power pretty quickly, which Cat Manny was talking about with the power pole catching fire. It wasn't a concrete power pole, it was a wood power pole.
Yeah, we're going to turn down into one of the neighborhoods. This is the Glen Haven subdivision. This is one of the areas that is got some pockets of power line issues. And I know they've got a tree down on the next street over. There's multiple things down. There's a lot of stuff on the ground that's got to be cleaned up. And it's going to take a little while to work through it. It always does after a storm. And we still may get some winds in the 20 to 30 mile an hour area later today as the remnants of Debby begin to pull off, go back out into the ocean, and then make a turn towards South Carolina, from what we understand. And here's another one of the trees. Now this isn't a priority right now because there's ways around this tree with side streets. But another water oak tree has come down here, and it actually is kind of hinging in some of the utility lines here. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. But you can see it's mainly up there in some of the, looks like communications or data cable. Now I know that we're actually towards mid-island and then maybe a little bit heading towards the north. We're going to go by one of the golf courses here and show you guys some stuff that's down there. A lot of debris on top of roofs right here.
Wow.
Pretty good limb that's fallen out of that.
Yeah.
See, these guys have electricity on, but there are some, I guess, some issues down in pockets of this neighborhood that are without electricity. I don't know if is the rain over. I mean, I looked at the radar. It didn't look like, unless the heat of the day, once we get to the backside, if that begins to pick up.
Let's check it out. Yeah, it'll be interesting though once it kind of gets more offshore. It looks like the eye is actually just over Savannah right now.
Is it?
Richmond Hill, Savannah area, getting ready to come offshore, back down to the south is what the track is showing. Once it gets offshore and kind of comes back in towards Charleston, as they're predicting, it's going to head east, back off to the ocean, to the Atlantic, and then hopefully move pretty quickly back, make landfall again, rather than staying offshore with that warm Atlantic water. Actually, right now, over the past couple of weeks, the Atlantic Ocean's been warmer than the Gulf of Mexico. And that warm water intensifies the storms. So we're hoping that it won't stall out like some models are predicting. Hopefully it'll get offshore and come right back towards the west. We have another low pressure further east in the Atlantic. It's going to push it back. Landfall.
From the forecast I've seen for our area is calling for, you know, right at 100% chance of rain back this afternoon. I guess they're expecting the backside of this thing to bring some more rain for our area. Now, I'll try to pan the camera over this way. This is one of our golf courses here. Let me see. I need to flip this camera around here a little bit. There, a little bit better picture for you guys. You see there's half a tree laying over there on the golf course.
Yep, pretty big limb. Those golf course maintenance crews do a great job of getting those things cleaned up. They'll start on hole number 1 and sweep all the way through with just about everybody they got. Looks like a pretty big limb coming up here. Actually, a whole tree split.
Yeah, one side of the tree's down here. Now this golf course subdivision, most of this subdivision over here right now is without power, according to the outage map that we looked at from Georgia Power. And this is the Sea Palms golf course. on St. Simon.
Early this morning in the weather.
It's out there in a lot of standing water. Weather last night didn't get really crazy as it went over. I mean, you and I last night were kind of riding through in the evening.
Yeah, I completely agree. Kind of stayed steady, but the rain started to disappear.
There's a tree down that's there on their property. See that? We're starting to get a little mist, a little heavier mist here on the windshield. So maybe we're going to see a little more precipitation in the area as the backside of the disturbance moves through. Just a lot of small debris that's down. It's everywhere. Folks are going to have a lot of cleanup to do on their property. We may have found the problem of why they don't have electricity in the subdivision either. So I think what happened here is they had another big tree that came down, and it pulled these utility lines down. If you look on, can you see that pole up there? You see where that wire is broken?
Yeah. So guys, as we're excuse me. Guys, as we were talking about yesterday, with these storms, electric companies from all over come.
Yeah, you can see the tree. See the tree right over there laying? It looks like a pine tree that came down.
Yeah. These electric companies come from all over to help us out. And
goodness gracious, he wants us to come right on through here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, definitely.
Down pine tree off to our right here. But these power companies come from all over, Alabama, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, to come help.
There's 14 trucks right between there and up this way right now.
So Pike Electric.
Yeah, they're a contractor with Georgia Power, and so they've been called in to help out with
They have people set up all across the southeast.
Look, there's more line that was broken right there. During Matthew, this area caused pretty good.
Yeah, I would think that. Found the and it seemed to be some pretty good damage to the power lines.
we got
We got up to 40.
40 folks in here. This is good morning, everyone. Of course, I'm driving, so I don't have the opportunity to check out the chat this morning, but you guys that are here with us, thanks. We're just taking a little survey ride, looking at trees on St. Simon's, following the passage of still a storm that's going to cause problems for places like Savannah and Charleston. We have seen a lot of rain out of this system. Now at breakfast this morning, one of my buddies said he had 6 inches of rain at his house on the south end of the island over the past 24 hours.
Wow.
If we do get winds that come up again today, 30 miles an hour, as the backside of the system leaves the area, we're probably going to have more problems. As the ground is saturated, and once that starts happening, the trees are heavy and the ground is loose. The potential for real problems exist. So last night you were telling me, Connor, that not all the ships made it out of Savannah.
Yeah, so yesterday all the ships got out of Brunswick, and they had a large parade of ships coming out of Savannah, but unfortunately 3 of them weren't able to make it out.
So I mean, when that happens, what do the tow companies do? What's the protocol?
So a lot of times the ships will put out more lines, and they'll call the tugboat companies to come push on them to hold them to the dock. So yesterday during the live, we were talking about the ships, what the ro-ros that we get here in the port of Brunswick, and the container ships that we get in Savannah. With how high those ships are, they almost act like a sailboat, especially in the higher winds that we had through the hurricane. So the tugboats stayed there all night long, just pushing,
just keeping the ships pinned to the berth.
Yeah, just holding them to the berth, probably full power, holding them against. It's a long, drawn-out, boring process, but essential. You definitely don't want one of those ships coming across the river. Nobody's working cargo. Most likely the ship's crew's all battened down and everything's all picked up.
What's the view like out of the front window of a tugboat when you're doing that?
We're staring at a big steel wall. It's not a whole lot of fun. You just kind of sit there and hang out and hope you have a good watch partner to talk to and tell some stories. Main thing is listening to the radar.
Yeah.
Or radio, excuse me. They'll keep in contact with you, let you know everything's going on. But unfortunately, we had 2 tanker ships, petroleum tankers, and get out. I'm not sure exactly. The port typically tells everybody to get out if they can.
Break up the tugboat party. I just wanted people to see that.
The two tankers weren't actually at Georgia.
And then hopefully we're back with sound. Battery Monster got us again. Does not take long.
Should have audio back, guys.
You know, I've been looking. I haven't seen anything other than like the Weather Channel and some of the other news outlets with anything coming out of Savannah or Charleston. I'm certainly not doing something like what we're doing on YouTube and just kind of showing people what the storm's doing over here on the east side of the coast.
Yeah, I checked out a couple of the news outlets in Savannah this morning to see how my home, Savannah, I'm from Savannah, how that ended up faring out. And the news didn't really have a whole lot. I was kind of really disappointed. Most of the stuff is from Facebook groups of people that are posting, ponds or streets that are flooded.
Stuff in their immediate area.
Yeah.
unless we get some stronger winds out of the west. It looks to me like the island has fared pretty well.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, there's
with how many oaks and everything St. Simon's has, it looks like we did pretty good through the night.
There's obviously some small problems here and there, but they're being worked on. And of course, there's going to be some cleanup.
Yeah, that's expected. Good thing is we don't have multiple trees down with multiple power lines or anything like that.
We've seen it much worse over here, guys. Much worse. It's been a very long time since this area has taken a direct hit from a major storm. I think you'd have to go back into 1898 when that storm came through. It came in just north of Jacksonville, and this place got really wet. As a matter of fact, we lost a street out here that ran down the beach and had homes on both sides of it. That street, it was called Beachview, and that street got washed away.
Wow.
That actually may have happened in Dora, which was a 60s storm. The big storm of 1898, there's historic pictures of the flooding that occurred and the damage that occurred during that storm. It's pretty massive to this area.
So for those guys with us yesterday, we were driving around through this neighborhood. When it was pretty rough, rains were coming down pretty hard. Winds were blowing. Much different this morning.
And now
the rain has nearly subsided. I believe we're kind of in the eye right now. So, as Mr. Andy said, it'd be interesting to see what the backside of the storm brings as the eye continues to move further away from us.
I hope we don't buffer too bad, but I want to go down here and get a shot of this. We're back down by the St. Simon's Lighthouse, and it's still rough. The waters here are still rough, but we get definitely more of a western component to the wind. Looks like it's coming more out of the southwest now for us. Still a little turbulent. Looking back out towards Jekyll Island here.
So guys, this area is actually right where the Golden Ray incident was. We'd be pretty much looking right at it.
2020, there would have been a big ship right out in front of us here.
Definitely still a small boat advisory. I would not want to be out in a boat right now.
You wouldn't want to be. We wouldn't want to have the Menorcan mullet out in
there. This is southwest winds.
Is southwest now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. 20 to 25 miles an hour.
Still breezy. I'll tell you what's going to happen on this wind down at the marina. When that tide starts out, when does that happen?
Speaking of tides, I was just getting ready to look that up. So it's coming in right now. 10:25 is high tide.
So in another...
here in about an hour.
Yeah. The marina...
Once the tide current start to really shift.
The marina is going to start seeing some crazy waves in there when that west wind's blowing against that outgoing tide there.
Yeah, the sound there is going to get pretty rough as well.
Yeah, it's going to get nasty. All in all, yeah, we've done okay here so far. Let's hope that the storm moves on pretty quickly. That doesn't bring a lot of wind this afternoon. And that if the forecast, have you looked at the radar, Connor? What is
it really doesn't look like much on the radar for us.
That's good. That's good
for now.
I was worried that we might see some stuff kind of wrap back around.
Yeah, I feel like we might get some stuff wrapped back around once it gets all the way offshore. As of now, the eye looks like it's kind of just over Savannah, with the eye wall kind of hitting Hilton Head right now.
Really? Is Charleston getting some rain right now?
Charleston's going through it right now. I think they're kind of getting more. Myrtle Beach area is getting more what we had yesterday. That heavy red and yellow radar color. Talked to my father there in Savannah. He said they've got just misty rain so far this morning. About what we got here.
Right.
On and off misty rain. But once the storm gets further offshore, almost looks like that the left side of the storm might come back and give us a good whack. As we pass the airport here, I'm looking at the wind sock. It's stretched. It's straight out.
It's stretched out over there.
So those that have just joined us, Cat, Mandy, and I, we're just riding around checking out the damage from the night. We're pleasantly surprised that it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Last time that we were with you guys last night, it
was pretty meaty. Pretty meaty.
Yeah, it definitely looked like we weren't going to fare too well with the winds and the rain. The rain was coming down, winds were blowing, and luckily it subsided through the night. A couple problems. Captain Andy this morning said we had about 1,000 people without power. If you were with us very early on, we found the problem, we believe.
Yeah.
Had about 14 electrical trucks out there working to get power restored for those folks.
I tell you, the linemen that respond to these events, they're, like you said, most of those guys they're from other places, and usually their companies are under contract, so they have to respond to these events as they happen. But they've been away from their families now for probably close to a week, traveling here and getting set up and places in anticipation of the actual storm and then working through it. But
once they find it, they're pretty good at getting it restored quickly.
I know, they're so efficient.
So they can get back home to their families, wherever they come from. Like you said, you know, they've probably already been away for about a week in preparation to get here.
I need to do more of these kind of visits from the island, and not just particularly wait until a storm to kind of bring people into this area and kind of understand it, of what St. Simon's is like. I think a lot of people would enjoy seeing it when it's not going through a storm.
Yeah. Those big weekends where the island's really busy.
And that's typically on
4th of July, Memorial Day weekend,
Georgia, Florida weekend.
Georgia, Florida weekend's a huge one around here. So when the University of Georgia and the University of Florida play football, they play down in Jacksonville, which is about an hour south. A lot of the Greek life fraternity and sorority members rent beach houses here on St. Simon's, and
well, they make a beach day. They
population doubles, triples.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a busy weekend. Exciting weekend.
That Friday before the game, they have a big gathering out on the beach, and it's 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people. We've done some videos on that. It's quite, and it's close to Halloween. Halloween costumes. A lot of fun.
Yeah. We went up to court, and as I was explaining yesterday, we brought the ship into Cove, Ireland, which, interestingly, Cove is the last port that the Titanic was ever seen. That was the last port that it departed before it
interesting fact
set sail across the Atlantic.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I do want to let's go down on the street, and I might get you to swing this camera over, and we'll show them the electrical pole. You haven't seen it, have you, either? You haven't been over here?
I have not.
This morning. Yeah, I'll show you guys the reason why we have no electricity in the neighborhood. Oh, we got a group here. It's this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see the?
Yeah.
Is this still burning? Here. See if we can swing this over. Oh.
Yeah, guys. So as Mr. Andy was talking about earlier, you can see where the pole, kind of towards right here, actually fell off the top and burnt, grounded out due to some moss or whatever it may be. The electric company is out here now. We got one guy taking a survey of it.
And hopefully that'll get repaired here pretty soon.
You can't quite see it in the camera, but it's actually still smoking.
See if you can zoom out that. Turn that.
Right here.
No. The on the actual lens. There you go. Turn it the other way. There you go. Bring it
So right there on the bottom end of that is still smoking.
And I'll show them where that piece went.
All the way at the top?
Oh yeah.
All
And
the
it
way
was
up here at the top.
way up there. And it burnt.
It's hanging down.
I think
here.
I think what happened is it got some of the moss on it and it ground it out to the pole, and it actually started a fire last night. Kind of crazy stuff. All right, guys, we're holding up traffic. A lot of stuff going on here. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to
thank you
kind
guys.
of end things here, and that's what we got from St. Simon's here, following the passage of the front side of Debby. You guys take care and